Journeys, Grade 1, Lesson 28. Days with Frog and Toad. And Measuring Weather. Language Detective. Talk about words. Work with a partner. Use two of the blue words in the same complete sentence. Words to know. Second, the boy is trying to tie his second sneaker. Ball. She practiced until she could hit the ball well. Across. The runners dashed across the finish line. Head. He hit the ball with his head to make a goal. Herd. The children heard clapping at the end. Large. It was not too hard to ride up the large hill. Cried. "We can do it!" cried the team. Should. The teacher said that she should try again. So here's the read and comprehend. So the target skills. And here's a chart you can use. So for this chart, you will need to know the characters, which means the people who are playing in the story. Setting, which is when and where. Plot. The plot is the problem and how it is solved. So here's the target strategy. Preview the topic. Weather. Weather can cause problems. Storms can damage homes. Too much rain can lead to floods. The weather can also help us. Rain helps crops grow. Wind helps us fly kites. You will find out if the wind helps Frog and Toad in the kite. So here's the theme pair share. Lesson 28. Anchor text. Days with Frog and Toad. The genre is fantasy. Genre. A fantasy story could not happen in real life. As you read, look for events that could not really happen. Animals who talk and act like people. Meet the author and illustrator. Arnold Lobel. Arnold Lobel drew many animals before he came up with the Frog and Toad characters. During vacations with his family in Vermont, Mr. Lobel watched his children play with frogs and toads. Soon, the animals were starring in his books. The Kite, from Days with Frog and Toad, by Arnold Lobel. Essential question: how can weather change your day? The Kite. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. "Our kite will fly up and up," said Frog. "It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky." "Toad," said Frog, "I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run." Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. "That kite will not fly," said the robins. "You may as well give up." Toad ran back to Frog. "Frog," said Toad, "this kite will not fly. I give up." Analyze the text. Story structure. What problem do Frog and Toad have? "We must make a second try," said Frog. "Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps that will make it fly." Toad ran back across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up in the air and then fell down with a thud. "What a joke," said the robins. "That kite will never get off the ground." Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is a joke," he said. "It will never get off the ground." "We have to make a third try," said Frog. "Wave the kite over your head and jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly." Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. The kite went up in the air and crashed down into the grass. "That kite is junk," said the robins. "Throw it away and go home." Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is junk," he said. "I think we should throw it away and go home." Toad, said Frog. "We need one more try. Wave the kite over your head. Jump up and down and shout, 'Up, kite, up!'" Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. He shouted, "Up, kite, up!" The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher. "We did it!" cried Toad. "Yes," said Frog. "If a running try did not work, a running and waving try did not work, and a running, waving, and jumping try did not work, I knew that a running, waving, jumping, and shouting try just had to work." Analyze the text. Genre: fantasy. How is this story different from What Can You Do? The robins flew out of the bush, but they could not fly as high as the kite. Frog and Toad sat and watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up at the top of the sky. So here's the dig deeper. Use clues to analyze the text. Use these pages to learn about story structure and fantasy. Then read the kite again. So here's the story structure. And again, the chart shows us the characters, setting, and the plot. So the genre was a fantasy. So here's your turn. Return to the essential question. Turn and talk. And here is the classroom conversation. Performance task. Write about reading. And here you can see the writing tip. You can use like and to tell how things are alike. Use not and but to tell how things are different. Lesson 28. Informational text. Measuring weather. Read together. Genre. Informational text gives facts about a topic. Find facts about weather in this article. The text focus. Text focus. A graph is a drawing that uses numbers, colors, pictures, or symbols to give information. What does the graph on page 108 show? Measuring weather. There are different tools for measuring weather. Have you ever heard of a windsock? It shows which way the wind blows. A rain gauge measures how much rain falls. A large storm will bring a lot of rain. A thermometer measures temperature. Temperature is how warm or cool something is. On a hot day, you and your friends might like to ride bikes or play ball. On a cold day, you might want to put on a coat and play in the leaves or build a snowman. When you know the temperature, you know what to wear. Look at the bars across the graph. Each bar shows the temperature for a day. Which day was the hottest? Which day was the coolest? What was the temperature on the second day of the week? So here it shows the daily temperatures. The days are here: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Here are the degrees: 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70. So compare texts. Read together. So here are the different ways you can compare the texts: text to text, text to self, and text to world. Grammar. Kinds of adjectives. Some adjectives describe by telling how things taste, smell, sound, or feel. Taste. We ate sweet berries before we flew kites. Smell. The air smelled fresh and clean. Sound. We gave a loud cheer when our kites flew up. Feel. The warm sun shined down on us. So the red words are the adjectives. Try this. So here you can work with a partner and connect grammar to writing. When you revise your writing, look for places to add adjectives to tell how things taste, smell, sound, or feel. Opinion writing. So here is the revised draft, and here is given the writing checklist for you. On this page, it shows the final copy for you from the opinion writing. The end.